Okay, another essential thing for on-site SEO is getting your Google Sitemaps in place, generator. There is a plugin for WordPress that works really well for this. All you got to do is type into Google WordPress Google Sitemaps plugin, and you'll see it's the first one that comes up. You can click on that, and all you have to do is click download here, save it to your desktop. Alright, it's going to take a second to go ahead and download. What this basically does is it basically goes out and indexes every one of your sites and every one of the pages on your blog, and tells Google where to go, tells them what sites or what pages are important, and makes sure it's a great way to make sure every page on your blog is going to get indexed by Google, not just the home page. All right. And because when you're building your links, you don't just want to build links back to your root domain. You want to build links to as many of the relevant pages on your site as possible. It's called deep linking. But with sitemaps, it also is going to be a quick way for Google to see what pages are actually on your blog. So now that I've downloaded that, I'm going to go back to my WordPress dashboard. I'm going to click plugins, and I'm going to add new. And I'm going to click upload. I'm going to browse out there to my Google Sitemap generator plugin. I'm going to install it now. And it's take a second to install. And once it's done, I'm going to click on activate plugin. And you can see now I've got my Google Sitemaps plugin. It's activated. And you're good to go. Now I'm going to click down here on XML sitemap, and I have my settings for that. I can go ahead and right now it's saying now the sitemap was not built yet. I want to click it to build it for the first time, but before I do that, I want to make sure that the options are like I want them. It's pretty simple. I can decide what format I want it to write in. I would just stick with the defaults on most of these. And I can also decide if I have an application Yahoo ID, I can give Yahoo those updates as well. But most of these I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just going to keep it at the default at this point. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and click here. Now notice before we do that though, down here at the bottom, I can also decide how often things change on my site, and I can tell Google this is going to be important information for my site not to say, because then Google's going to know how often it should be indexing me. Okay. It also is going to tell me which pages are the priority. And notice again, like I said in the other tutorial, the home page is the most important, and as I get deeper into my site, it gets less and less important, but more specific as far as the keywords I'm looking for. Okay. All right, scroll back up here. I'm going to click here to build my sitemap for the first time. And it looks like it's working on that. And boom, it was built. All right, my sitemap. I can get the zipped version right there. The cool thing here is, notice this, Google was successively notified about the changes. Bing was also notified about the changes. I don't have the ask.com information in here. They're not as important to me as Google and Bing and Yahoo are, but so I'll wait to do those a little bit later if I want to go ahead and mess with the ask.com. Most important, it's going to be Google. But now I have a sitemap. It's going to have all my resources over here. I have several different options with this sitemap, and it's that simple. Now Google's going to knows every page on my site and how often it's going to be changing, so how often it should check for changes on those pages. Okay, that's how to go ahead and create a sitemap for Google.